Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto Was Cast Aside and Awakened True Power Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. A boy with sun-kissed runs into a dead end with a wall many times taller than him. The boy's name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the so-called demon of the village because he holds the soul of the Kyuubi, a terrible monster which attacked the village of Konoha the day he was born, and the soul was sealed into him by his own father, Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage and leader of the village. He knew his father hated him and the rest of his family did, too. His mother, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, agreed with his father to abandon him because she believed he became the demon that he held inside of him. Naruto's younger twin brother, Menma, and his younger twin sister, Mito, each held 50% of the Kyuubi's yokai and were both treated like heroes for it. Naruto never felt love in his life, never truly smiled to anyone or has anyone smile at him. He never felt joy for anything, including his own life. All his life he was hated, beaten, tortured, glared at, for something he had no control over. He never asked to be a Jinchuriki, nor did he ask to be hated. But even through all this, he kept the facade of wanting to protect the village. He smiled at those that glared at him, knowing that every glare built his hatred to the villagers and family. Especially his family. They casted him aside like garbage and don't think twice about it. His parents cursing his name even though they were the people who made him. Now he about to suffer another beating to the civilians and ninjas of the village, all because of his father. "I've found the demon," one of the villagers cried. "This is the fate you deserve," another on said. And this was the start of it all. This beating seemed to have more people, meaning more of the pain he had to suffer through. He balled up as he received his unfair punishment. The pain that he received was unmeasured. A 6-year-old boy shouldn't go through this. Nobody should. How they treated him made no sense to him. His family abandoning for something they did, the villagers' hatred because their ignorance. His hidden hatred for everything. Everything was against him in this world and he knew that. He learned at a young age that he lived for himself and himself only, even though he hid his feelings behind the smile that he so hates. He lived under one motto that he made himself and never told anyone. Live, fight, and love only yourself. That's what it was and how it was since he could remember of his small life. Damn it, it looks like we killed it before we could do more to it. One of the people of the mob said. And he was right. Naruto's body looked like a bulging red stain coming out the ground. Mutilated in every way possible. But the villager was wrong about one thing. Naruto wasn't dead, he was unconscious. Mindscape Kurama's cage. Where am I? Naruto thought to himself as he looked around the sewer he was currently in. The villagers probably threw me down here to let me die. It's time find a way out. He thought as he looked around. While looking around, Naruto found a big cage with the kanji for seal on a piece of paper in the middle of the cage. What is this cage doing here? Is this where the Kyuubi's soul? As he got closer to the cage he saw what seemed to be a human-shaped figure in the darkness of the cage. "Come here, child," said a deep voice inside the cage. "Nope. Not going into the scary dark cave. I'm not like those stupid people in the movies," said Naruto and he turned away from the cage. "Will you come in now?" asked a soft voice that held kindness in it. Naruto turned around and saw in the cage a woman with red-haired woman with a beauty that was unmeasured. Her hair made it to the middle of her back but looked smooth and lustrous. She had a heart-shaped face with a smile that would warmest smile that would melt any cold-hearted person. She had a slime waist and the most smooth-looking arms and legs and double DD that made her look even more amazing. "Don't worry, child, I won't hurt you," she said. Naruto, going against what he said about the people in scary movies, walked straight into the cage towards the woman. "Who are you?" asked Naruto with an innocent face that swooned the woman. "Me. I'm the nine-tailed fox, can't you tell?" she said as she turned around and showed him 9-8 feet. Tails coming from her tailbone. Oh, ah, that's nice to know. He said. You aren't afraid of me. She said in a confused tone. You're too pretty to be afraid of. And you seem too nice, even if people call you an evil fox. Really now, how surprising it is for a child to finally understand me and to talk to. My name is Kurama. What is your name, child? My name is Naruto, and I'm going to be the next Hokage, believe it? He said. Kurama looked at the boy and started giggling and then said, Boy, if it wasn't for my powers, I would have believed your lie for a second. What are you talking about? Said Naruto in a frantic voice, thinking someone finally caught on to his secret. I'm not lying about anything. I can tell you're lying. Do you want to know why? She says. Then she gets behind him and wraps her arms around him and whispers in his ear, I can feel the hate welled up in your chest, locked up so tight no one would notice it. The minimum love in your heart is only to yourself, but we can change that. She said. Naruto looked up to her with wide eyes with his secret reveled. He felt so uneasy now. Naruto, what is your real goal? Kurama said. My real goal, he said, then turned away from her with doubt. You can tell me. I won't hate you like everyone else. I'm the only person you can trust. Talk to me, she said with a calm voice. I want them dead, Naruto said with a dead voice that surprised Kurama. I want them all dead and suffer the way I did these years. To feel their fear instead of their hate. To claw through them one by one till they're all gone. Then he looked right into Kurama's eyes with a powerful killing intent that he was releasing without him knowing, surprising Kurama even further. I want Konoha to burn. Kurama smiled at Naruto with a dark look. Then let me help you, and if you do, we will both see Konoha burn to ashes. Then she opened her arms to Naruto in a hug-like manner which he accepted. Finally, somebody I can trust. He said and closed his eyes and fell into the first hug he ever had. Yes, Naruto, you can trust me. Trust me and only me, more than you trust yourself. Kurama thought to herself as she looked at Naruto with an evil smirk. Yes, you're mine now and no one else's. I'll make you more than strong, I'll make you my mate and have total control over you and what you do. She thought. Now let's take care of those bad people outside your head, shall we? She said with glee. Yes, Kurama-chan. He said with a dark voice. In the alleyway. Let's leave the body for the rats, said a villager. While the people were leaving the alley, they never noticed Naruto get back up, covered in red charcoal with an insane grin on his face, his wounds fully healed. Where are you going? Said Naruto in a demonic tone. I'm still alive, can't you see that I'm still standing? Then, Naruto attacked, leaving no survivors. Everyone that participated in the mob were destroyed and killed in the worst way. The blood stained Naruto's already red shirt so much that it started to turn black. The wild look in his eyes as he tore through the villagers' bodies, ninja and civilian alike. His eyes, now red that replaced the blue that was once his eye color and a black slit in the middle, showed his insane glee as he murdered everyone in the alleyway. Nobody could stop him. He wouldn't stop this for the world. The first time he ever felt stronger than somebody, the first time to hurt his abusers. His first time at revenge. Hours later at the Hokage Tower. Hokage-sama, something's happened in the village, said the advisor. Minato turned in his seat, showing his blonde hair and blue eyes with a fire within them. Show me. In the alleyway. What happened here? Said one of the Anbu that came with the Hokage at the murder site. There floating in a pool of the villagers' blood was Naruto, unconscious. A smile on his face. What happened in the alley made Konoha scared. The demon started to fight back. This never happened before. The Hokage and his advisors were in heated debate telling what should they do with Naruto. Execution, banishment, anything was suggested. Minato was the one to come up with the solution. We will keep him underground in my mansion. I'll build a cell made by me personal to hold him down. He won't escape. I will place seals all over the walls that will hold the demon so it won't mature in its power. The seals will only respond to me and my wife, Kushina, chakra so we can release it when the village is in times of peril. Nothing like this will ever happen, said the Hokage. Everyone agreed, and in the Hokage's mansion was a cell. The door looked like a vault to a bank that held millions of dollars in it. When opened, a 5-meter walk downstairs underground will lead you to a door and a window which should you Naruto's room. A slab of metal came out of the wall, a blanket and pillow was on top. To the side there was another room with a toilet, shower, and sink for personal needs. All around the cell were seals that blocked yokai. It was the perfect place to put Naruto. A perfect place for Kurama to take over Naruto as well. Naruto, while being looked up in the cell, didn't stop him from training. Kurama would teach him inside the mindscape. Naruto also opened up the seal for Kurama, but she didn't leave the seal saying, "I have something to finish." And then give an evil grin to Naruto. Also throughout the years, Kurama started to get obsessed with Naruto. While he was younger, it wasn't really anything serious, but when he started to get older, that's when things started getting weird. Kurama would say that he belonged to her and that he would become a great mate for her. She told him that he would be her future mate when she fully turned Naruto into a demon. She started being forceful on him when he wouldn't do something right. Then she would start to force herself on him. She would have total control over Naruto since he opened the seal. Kurama took over the seal and made it her own domain. If Naruto started to run or fight back Kurama, she just make chains to hold him down while she did what she wanted to him for hours in the mindscape. He couldn't do anything about it. Now, instead of worrying about the villagers torturing him, he had Kurama to do it. And this wasn't something he could run away from. While Kurama would torture him in his mind, both physically and ally, his mind continued to break. He had believed in Kurama and she took advantage of him. He almost thought that he didn't own himself. To not control when he was pulled into the mindscape and suffer almost more than what the villagers put him through was like another hell he went through. He went through this for 6 years by himself. Regardless of that, Kurama did train Naruto throughout the 6 years of being locked up. Naruto's elemental natures included fire and wind, a deadly combination. He focused more on wind jutsus than fire, but he was very advanced at both aspects. Kurama made Naruto claws out of her own chakra so he could use in the physical world. His fingers would fit in the middle of each compartment that held to him like a glove. At the end of the metal claws were 4-inch curved nails that hurt just looking at them. Naruto could conduct his own yokai into them to make them even more deadly than they already were. Naruto also learned fuinjutsu, or seals. He was a natural at them, advanced to seal master in a matter of years with hard work and Kurama's help. At the age of 10, Naruto could break out the chains that the Hokage had put on him that also had seals on them and run away, but Kurama said that staying in the cell was the safest place for him, much to his ire. While living in the cell, Kushina and Minato had to give him food and water for him to live. They much rather have him die, but the village needed a weapon to get the edge on other villages. Something else that no one knew except for Kurama and Naruto, was that Minato messed up sealing Kurama in the triplets. Minato accidentally sealed both 50% of Kurama's chakra and her soul into Naruto while the other 50% was split between Mito and Menma, Naruto's younger twin brother and sister. The only time Naruto saw the two was when he stated to go to the academy when he turned 8 and joined it his first year. Minato wanted Naruto to have some strength so he could use him. But Naruto did horrible in the academy. Kurama wanted Naruto to hide his real strength to the world, so he did. During spars, he would only dodge his opponents and hit with small force behind his attacks, but if he ever went serious, he would be able to even beat Minato in a battle. Naruto learned all of Minato's famous jutsu, including the Rasengan and the Haraishin, when he sneaked out of his cage and went into the mansion library and learned incredibly fast with his Kage Bushin jutsu. He also inherited Kushina's chakra chain bloodline, which sometimes helped when he faced Kurama in battle in his mind. Naruto seemed to have the mysterious ability to absorb ki, killer intent, and make him stronger, much to Kurama's delight. All in all, with all the training he received, the hate, and torture, made Naruto into a non-emotional killing machine. He was now a half-demon that showed no love to anyone at all, except for Kurama at times. Naruto still rejects Kurama's advances on him, making him have to go through more pain, making him more insane. Naruto has wild spiked blonde hair with some red streaks going through it, a muscular build, sharp nails on his fingers, 3 whisker marks on each side of his face that were heavily bold. Naruto's eyes were still the same as they were that night 6 years ago, red where blue used to be, and a slit in the middle of them. They also held the same single emotion they always had. Hatred. Naruto. Age 12 inside the cell. Wake up, Naruto. Today's the day of graduation. You shouldn't miss this, said Kurama from his mind. ZZZZZZZZZZZZZZZZZ. Clearly Naruto was knocked out. I hate it when he goes into his deep sleeps, it's like trying to wake up a rock. I know what will get him up though, she said to herself. Then she took a deep breath. Naruto dear, if you don't wake up for me, I'll rape you for hours upon hours with a sick glee, she said with a crazy voice. Naruto instantly woke up, not wanting to go through the torture he's gone through before, and quickly started to change into his daily wear. He wore a black hoodie with the kanji for 9 on the back in red ink. He wore black cargo shorts as well with many pockets to hold his ninja tools. On the sides of his shorts he attached his compartments which held his claws. The cases were blue in color. Naruto took a quick shower and waited for someone to open his cage door so he can go to school. After a while his mother, Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze, opens the door with a plate of food she throws in front of Naruto. Hurry up and eat so you can leave, I can't stand the sight of you, she said with a hate-filled voice. Please leave, just looking at you makes me sick to my stomach, he said back with a monotone voice. Angered by his reply, she rushes out the door to leave from the demon's cage. Tch, woman. What was that, Naruto-kun? Said Kurama out of nowhere with a demonic voice proving she had heard him. Nothing, he quickly says and leaves his cage. Outside the Hokage mansion, are you two ready for the exam? Did you make sure to bring all your supplies? Did you study? Oh my god, if you two didn't study. Kushina was hitting Menma and Mito with questions about their final day at the academy. Menma Uzumaki Namikaze was 12 years old, the middle child of the triplets. He had blonde hair in a fashion just like his father's, only the tips of his hair was dyed with black giving him that cool look. He wore blue jumpsuit with the top part being black. Naruto's Shippuden jumpsuit only with the orange being replaced with blue. Menma was 5 feet 4 with a good build because of his father and mother's past training with him and his sister. Menma specialized in lightning jutsu that he learned from his father. The only thing he couldn't get to learn yet was how to make and conduct chakra chains, unlike his mother and sister, but has gotten close to learning his father's Harishin. Mito Uzumaki Namikaze was an amazing looking girl. She had long flowing red hair that reached her butt, but her hair didn't curve around face like her mother. She wore her mother's old battle kimono from her genin days, which was a pale yellow in color, short-sleeved, with a black belt around her waist. To complete her look she wore long black leggings that hugged her legs delicately. Mito is 5 feet 2 and had a great tomboy look, still looked pretty to all the boys in the academy. Mito's elemental nature is water, making her train more under her mother than father. She has mastered her chakra chains ability, but failed at learning the Harishin. Kushina-chan, calm down. These two will have no problem in ping the exam. They are, after all, our children and prodigy, said Minato with a loving smile to his wife. All right, Minato-kun, I believe you. You two just make sure you try your best and nothing will stop you from ping that exam, said an over-enthusiastic mother. Hi, Ka-chan. Don't worry, me and Ni-chan Menma will pee with everyone else in the dirt, exclaimed Mito. Yeah, me and Mito-chan will pee everyone, especially him. said Menma, saying the last part while pointing his hand back to the house, everyone getting what he was saying. No matter what happens, I'm so proud of you two. These last 6 years have been good to you too. You're both on your own level with all the hard work you to put into your training. I'm proud to be your father, said Minato with almost tears in his eyes. Then they all had a family moment with a group hug, but was interrupted by our favorite half-demon. Your expression of love is a terrible sight for me to see, said Naruto with a monotone voice. What do you want, demon? Said Menma getting right into Naruto's face. Nothing. I am simply ping by, no reason to get loud, said Naruto as he went around the family that he was excluded from. I shall not be late for the exam, this is the time for me to get out of the academy, he said and started walking away. That's if you even pee, which I doubt would happen, said Mito with an angry scowl at Naruto's back. Naruto didn't reply but keep walking leaving the family behind. You two don't worry, I'll make sure that you don't have him as a teammate. Now go to the academy and pee the exam, said Minato. With an excited cheer, the two ran up to the academy to finish their last year as academy students. At the academy, Naruto was at the back of the CL, looking at the paper that they were supposed to finish in 1 hour's time. He already knew all the answers, so answered them quickly. The Shuriken and Kunai test came up next, and he missed a couple points on the test on purpose, putting him in 5th place in the CL in accuracy. Next came the Just-Su test, in which was easier to him. Instead a regular Bunshin, he made a Kage Bunshin instead, with the result of him overall ping the exam and making him a genin. Alright CL, I will now say the teams. Team 7 will be Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno. Yeah, that's right. Who's on a team with Sasuke? Me. That's WHO. Nothing can stop this feeling I have right now, said Sakura, the loudest female on the planet. And Naruto, said Iruka, an academy instructor, with a sweat drop going down the side of his face. No, I don't want him there ruining my time with Sasuke, said Sakura, whose feelings on the situation just did a complete 180. Too bad. Your sensei is Kakashi Hatake. Anyway, Team 8 consists of Hinata Hyuga, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburama Shino and Kurenai Yuhi. Team 10 consists with Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akamichi Choji and Sarutobi Asuma. Team 11 consists of Menma Uzumaki Namikaze, Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, and Sai, and your team sensei will be Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze. Now will everyone wait until your team sensei comes to pick you up. Good luck out in the shinobi world, I am proud of everyone here, said Iruka and then left out the CL room. Can you believe it? Ka-chan is our sensei. This is so exciting, said Mito to Menma, who was leaning on Hinata's shoulder. Yeah, and with Ka-chan help, I'll be stronger than everyone in the village and become the next Hokage, said Menma. And of course, I'm bring my amazing girlfriend up with me, said Menma while kissing Hinata on her cheek. I'll hold you to it then, she said while wrapping her hands around Menma's back. Ah, you two are so cute, said Mito. Those two expression of love sickens me, thought Naruto. I have to force you to do that to me, Naruto, said Kurama from Naruto's mind. Naruto looked around the CL room to see Sasuke Uchiha look dead at him, with his fangirl Sakura looking at Sasuke with hearts in her eyes. Don't get in my way, is what the eyes said, but Naruto didn't care. He had plans for those two that will benefit him in the end. 3 hours later, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were the only people left in the CL room. Naruto was still staring into space, same as Sasuke, and Sakura. She was knocked out. Then the door opened to a man with gravity-defying hair with a mask over his mouth, leaf headband covering his right eye, in a regular Jonin outfit. He looks at the team and looks hard at Naruto with surprise in his eye. Then he says, "My first opinion about you all is that I hate you," said Kakashi. "All right, to get familiar with each other, let's introduce each other, shall we?" said Kakashi with an eye smile. Maybe you should go first, sensei, to see how we should do it, said Sakura. All right, my name is Kakashi Hatake. What I like to do is none of your concern, what I dislike is too much to say, and my dream is also none of your concern. Okay, so who's next? Said Kakashi with another eye smile. We didn't learn anything at all about him. The three thought to themselves. How about you, Pinky? Introduce yourself, said Kakashi. With a huff at her new nickname, she says, my name is Haruno Sakura and my likes are. She then looks at Sasuke with hearts in her eyes. My favorite thing to do is, and just like last time she looks at Sasuke like he is a god, and my goal is to, and with a squeal that sounds like she just had an orgasm, she gets closer to Sasuke. Then her attitude does a complete 180 and says, I hate Inouen, and looks at Naruto with fear in her eyes. Not that Naruto cares about her. So even she hates Naruto, that boy's life is so hard. It isn't like I made it better that day. Kakashi says in his mind, remembering a day about Naruto, but quickly closes off those thoughts. All right, Mr. Duck Butt, introduce yourself, please, said Kakashi to Sasuke. With a grunt, Sasuke says, my name is Uchiha Sasuke. I don't have a lot of likes except for training in my clan's traditions, have too many dislikes to say in one sentence, but my goal, then he looks into Kakashi's only reveled eye and said, to find somebody in this world and to get the truth from him. He says, leaving everyone except Kakashi wondering who he was talking about. Get the truth. Does he know something about the Macker nobody else knows? Thought a surprised Kakashi. All right, Mr. Sunshine over here, tell us about yourself, says Kakashi. Without giving Kakashi a look about his nickname, he says, my name is Naruto. I do not use my middle and last name because my so-called family denied to accepted me as their own. I have no likes at all except for sleeping and oranges. I have many dislikes, but they all can be summed up in one thing. I hate Konoha and everything in it. Everyone in it, the builds it holds, its so-called rich history makes me sick. My goal is to be free from this place once and for all, says Naruto with a very serious voice. Everyone was surprised about what Naruto said. He basically said he wants to destroy Konoha and become a rogue ninja. Sakura looked at Naruto a little more afraid than before. You're kidding, right? You really don't mean that, right? Sakura said. I was serious and truthful about the whole explanation. The only thing I might have lied about is that I more than like oranges. They just taste so good, said Naruto with a little emotion in his voice. Ah, Naruto, don't I include in one of your likes, right? Said Kurama, and the open seal started to burn and hurt Naruto. He had to keep a straight face so no one would notice his pain. It's worse than I thought, and I'm a part of what is in front of me today, thought a sad Kakashi. All right, you may or may not know, but the academy test wasn't the actual Genin test. The real one. I'm going to give you the real test tomorrow at 7 in the morning at Training Ground 7. Oh yeah, don't eat anything, cause if you do, then a evil look came onto Kakashi onto his face, dire consequences will be given. Then he gave an eye smile, and before the Genin could ask questions about the test, he left in a standard Konoha body flicker. He just leaves like that. I don't like him either, said Sakura, irritated at how Kakashi handled things. It doesn't matter, I will pee this test and become stronger than ever, said in confident Sasuke. Nevertheless, you two better not ruin things for me, said Naruto. Then he started to walk away from the two, or I'll kill you both. Then he disappeared in a wind shunshin. What? How did he do that? Said a surprised Sakura and an also surprised Sasuke. In Naruto's cell, Naruto walked into his cell and closed the door. He then got the chains that were a good 20 feet in length, giving him slack to get to the bathroom in his cell, and locked them around his wrist and got on top of the metal slab that acted as a bed, got his very big blanket and went into a quick slumber. Inside Kurama's seal. Ah, Naruto, my favorite person in the world. How was your day? Said Kurama. After Kurama manipulated Naruto into opening the seal, she had full control over it as well. She made a forest with loads of trees, animals, lakes, a beautiful place indeed. The middle of the forest was a 3-story mansion where Kurama spent her time and lived in. In the backyard was a training ground where Kurama taught Naruto everything. I am fine, Kurama-chan, said Naruto and tried to pee by her, but she caught him in her arms, burying his head in her as she hugged him. Oh, no, where do you think you're going, peeing by me like you don't want to see me? Aren't I the only person you can talk to trust? I am smart enough to know that people who trust someone aren't supposed to torture them, said Naruto as he pushed Kurama off of him and started to walk into the mansion to sleep. Who are you talking to like that? Kurama said with an angry voice. Naruto kept walking towards the door when he felt something wrap around his waist and pulled him back towards Kurama. It was one of Kurama's tails that pulled him back towards her. Listen here, Naruto, said Kurama. Her long hair covered her face. She started radiating ki that he could handle at first, but then it started to get too heavy, even for him to absorb and add to his own strength. Then she lifted her head back up and revealed an angry face and red eyes that were glowing with rage. Don't you ever get smart with me, do you understand me? Said Kurama told a terrified Naruto who is now showing a very scared face. Why yes KKK Kurama-chan, said a stuttering Naruto. You need to understand that I was the only one looking out for you in that cell. I'm the only person in the world who cares about you, and you turn your back at me. The nerve of it all, she said. She started to tighten her grip around Naruto, causing him to scream in pain. Yes, that's right, scream in pain. Face your punishment. This is your fault, the pain you're going through because of your own stupidity. I want to hear you scream. She yelled as her face gained a bloodthirsty look. The sound of Naruto's scream as she tightened her grip around him was like a music to her ears. The shrills of fear, squeals of pain, she loved it all. It was turning her on. Rape scene. Kurama then threw Naruto on the ground as chains held Naruto's arms and legs down. You are going to learn not to disrespect me. She yelled and started to rip Naruto's clothes off. This ought to teach you. Kurama moaned, now calmer than ever, and now started to pull Naruto's out. Get of me. I won't go through this again. Naruto yelled to the top of his lungs, trying to get free of the chains that was holding him and trying to wiggle away from Kurama, already knowing what she was about to do. Hold still. Kurama yelled as she punched Naruto in the stomach, which caused indescribable pain. This is your punishment, Naruto, but consider this a favor from me to you. Kurama said, fully pulling Naruto's out and licking her lips, and started to slowly lick up and down Naruto's. Saint Op PP Kurama. Naruto then let out a moan he tried to hold back. Kurama heard this and knew he tried to hold it back. Him releasing it though meant that he was starting to like it, event though he was denying it. To me it sounds like you want this, Naruto-kun, she said as she continued her actions on his lower regions. After he was fully erect, she stopped sucking him off. She then made chains come from the ground. Let's take this inside, shall we? Said Kurama as she kissed his cheek and dragged Naruto into the master bedroom. Inside master bedroom, Kurama threw Naruto on the bed. Are you ready, Naruto? Kurama asked, now taking off her bra showing her DD. Just get it over with. Naruto said, now not moving at all since she chained him down to the bed with chains that was restricting his movement and chakra flow. He couldn't move any muscles to try free himself, and now letting Kurama do whatever she wanted to. About time you started cooperating with me, Naruto-kun. Kurama said with excitement, now starting to go back to sucking his loving how he was trying to, and failing in do so, hold in the moans that she was causing. Stop that, Kurama, Naruto moaned out. He has experienced Kurama's UAL torture before and he would choose it over the physical torture she also loves giving to him. Kurama has gone down of him before, but her never got used to it. She was sucking like a professional for a while before he was about to come. With a shout he came in her mouth and she was trying to swallow all the cum that was falling out her mouth. Kurama swallowed all of it she could and started to lick all of the cum up that fell out her mouth. Naruto-kun, you really enjoyed that, huh? Well, you'll really enjoy this. Kurama said with joy as she then grabbed Naruto's and put it between her. Kurama, please stop this. I understand what I did wrong, said Naruto as he was breathing heavy from his heavy organism. No, I don't think you fully understand when I say, I own you, said Kurama with an evil smile on her face. She then started going up and down, tittying him while licking and sucking on the tip of his. Going up and down slowly with her and sucking hard on the tip, really wanting to swallow another load of Naruto's cum. Ah, Kurama, please, stop. A moan cut Naruto off. The pleasure was beginning to be too much for him and he didn't even try to hold them back, making Kurama smile at him, starting to want it. She started doing it more aggressive, now starting to get really wet and now wanting Naruto in her. I want you in me, Naruto, Kurama said, and hovering over Naruto's rock hard, slowly sliding down on Naruto's while giving him a kiss and putting her tongue in his mouth, almost suffocating Naruto in the process. Kurama released the kiss, letting air get into the lungs of Naruto and Kurama. Then Kurama started bouncing up and down on Naruto, moans out of both of them. She was putting a lot of pressure onto Naruto to the point that it started to hurt him. Kurama was on cloud 9 riding on top of Naruto. Ah, oh my, you're feeling up my insides, Naruto. Can't you feel the pleasure I'm giving you? Doesn't it feel good? I about to come, do it with me, Naruto. And both, with a howl, came hard together. The release of the organism made Kurama land on Naruto's buff chest. They're breathing in sync, which made Kyuubi happy. Are you finish now? Said a very mentally tired Naruto. No, I wish to continue this. It's making me feel so good. I hope you're ready for round 2, Naruto. This continued for hours as Kurama made Naruto even more insane than he was now. End. Next day, Training Ground 7, 9:50 a.m. Sasuke and Sakura were the first to arrive at the training ground on time. Sakura walked with Sasuke to the training ground trying to get some alone time with him, only for her to just look at him. An hour later came to the training ground. Sakura was about to yell at him for being late, but before she could, Naruto sent some ki towards Sakura with an angry glare. That was enough for her to piss on herself. Naruto himself was tired. Kurama did more to him than he thought he did. He only got about a good 3 hours of sleep before he left the cell late. Sasuke was also tired, you could see the bags underneath his eyes. Nobody at the training ground was happy about their sensei being late either. After 10 minutes of waiting, Kakashi appears from a shunsen with an eye smile. Good morning, everyone. Hope you slept good last night, cause it's time to work. You're 3 hours late, sensei, screamed Sakura, which hurt Naruto's sensitive ears. Well, you wouldn't believe this morning if I told you. You see, I had to help an old lad. I don't care what your excuse if, don't be late next time, exclaimed Sakura with Sasuke shaking his head in agreement. What? Someone who doesn't let me even say my excuse for being late? That's never happened before, said a surprised Kakashi. All right, you three, for you to be a official genin you must get these bells from me. Kakashi then reveals 2 bells that were attached to his pants. Those who get the bells simple enough. But sensei, there are only 2 bells, what about the other person who doesn't get a bell? Well, they get sent back to the academy, of course, said Kakashi. Sent back to the academy, said Sakura in a whisper of disbelief. If you don't this test, then that's enough said that you are not ready to become a ninja and will be sent to the academy for another year, said Kakashi in a serious voice. This test will last until noon. Then Kakashi put a timer on top of one of the 3 logs protruding from the ground and set it for a couple of hours. This test shall prove that you all are ready to be ninja, but be careful, this test has a 66% chance of failure. Now, is everyone ready? After 3 nods from the genin, a quick shout told the genin to hide among the trees. Sasuke and Sakura did, while Naruto stayed put. Naruto, you're supposed to go hide somewhere to get an advantage over me. A confused Kakashi said. This test doesn't make sense, I've never heard of a two-man cell. That would decrease the chance of successful missions, since it would put more work on the other two genin. There is a hidden meaning to this, I just don't know what. Said Naruto as he started to walk into the forest with a small pep in his step. If he wasn't isolated for so long, he probably would have figured it out already. Thought Kakashi as he left the area to go find Sakura and Sasuke. With Naruto. Kurama-chan, what does the meaning of this test mean? Asked a very confused Naruto. You really don't know, do you? Well, I never did teach you about teamwork, since I told you to only trust in me and no one else. Teamwork. What does that mean? Asked Naruto. Teamwork means that you work with your friends to accomplish a certain goal. Said Kurama. What does friends mean? Again asked Naruto. People you trust, like me. But you more than trust me, right Naruto? Said Kurama in a too sweet voice. Naruto didn't reply to what Kurama said, which made her mad, but she didn't do anything to him. He suffered a lot last night anyway. Just thinking about last night put a dark smile on her face. I should go find the Uchiha and Haruno. He said to himself as he rushed into the forest following Sakura's scent of too much perfume. With Sakura, if I can find Sasuke, we can team up and get the bells for ourselves so we can leave Naruto by himself, thought Sakura as she jumped from tree to tree. She truly was afraid of Naruto. She thinks that Naruto was much more stronger than he put on, epically after he used the body flicker technique, yesterday. That was a Chunin move, and he add wind to it, making her believe he really is strong. It will be okay, once me and Sasuke pee, I'll never see him again. Thought Sakura. Then she thought about the test that Kakashi gave the three. Then she stopped her pursuit for Sasuke. Wait of minute, there's no such thing as a two-man cell, only three-man cell. Kakashi says only two people can pee the test, but that was a lie, it has to be. Having a two-man cell will risk mission success rate, making it even more dangerous to take high CL missions. This whole test is about teamwork. Sakura, now with a determined mind, went to go find both Sasuke and, sadly to her, Naruto. With Sasuke, I don't know what you're trying to do, Kakashi, but I will find you and defeat you and take those bells for myself. Clearly, Sasuke was the dumb of the team and didn't understand what the test meant at all. Where are you, Hitaki? Yelled Sasuke. Sasuke, yelled a tired Sakura as she jumped in front of Sasuke. What do you want, Sakura? If this is another date offer then. No, forget that right now, I have to tell you the true meaning of this test, said Sakura. True meaning? What is she talking about? Thought a confused Sasuke. Sakura then started to explain what the true meaning of the test, and as she was continuing to tell him her theory about it, the more stupid he felt. You got that, Sasuke, we have to go find Naruto now. Said an excited Sakura. Yes, find Naruto, I was planning to do that before you told me about the test. Said Sasuke to at least make himself feel smart. Stop lying, you were trying to find the Hitaki for yourself and take the bell, in which you were going to fail in doing so. Said Naruto as he appeared in the clearing that Sasuke and Sakura were at. Naruto, you're here, that's good. So you know what the test true meaning is? Asked Sakura. Yes, we are supposed to use the term teamwork and take the bells from the Hitaki to pee this test. Apparently, the Uchiha didn't know the true meaning. Said Naruto to Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke, you were going to do that? Questioned Sakura. Maybe. That doesn't matter right now. We all need to focus and find Kakashi and get the bells together. Said Sasuke to recover from his mistake. No need to look for me, I'm right here. Appeared Kakashi. It seems you all know the meaning of the test, that's good for you. Now all you have to do is get the bells from me to Page. Said Kakashi with an eye smile. No problem. Then Sasuke stared doing hand seals and took a breath of air and said, Kaden, great fireball jutsu. And blew a large fireball right at Kakashi, who jumped over it. Naruto jumped at Kakashi with 2 kunai in hand, prepared to slice him in his torso, only for Kakashi to meet him with 2 kunai, also. While descending back to the ground, the two were parrying each other's attacks. Sakura sent a fleet of shuriken over to Kakashi's body. Kakashi pushed off of Naruto to dodge, also saving Naruto from the shuriken. Kakashi and Naruto continued their ult on each other, and Sasuke jumped in to help, while Naruto was holding back exponentially, not wanting to reveal his true strength yet to Kakashi, was still giving Kakashi some trouble. While Kakashi was handling the 2 genin in taijutsu, Sakura was preparing some more shuriken. She made sure to lock on to the bells on Kakashi, and launched them directly at the string, and successful from freeing them from Kakashi. Damn, she cut the line while I was distracted with the other 2, very sneaky, thought Kakashi as he saw Naruto recover the bells and gave them to Sasuke and Sakura, causing Sasuke to smile and Sakura to cheer in delight. Good job, you 3, together you took the bells from me and passed the exam. I must say, Naruto, your taijutsu is far more than advanced than a regular genin. Sasuke, that fireball was perfectly conducted and packed a lot of strength in it. Sakura, your accuracy with those shuriken was very impressive indeed. Together you all concurred and took the bells away, which means you all are now officially Team 7. Congrats, said a proud Kakashi to the genin. CCCHHHAAAA. We did it, we're genin now, said a very happy Sakura. Sasuke had a smirk on his face, showing his happiness, while Naruto had a frown on his face. It's almost time, he thought to himself. We shall meet on the bridge on the east side of Konoha at 10 a.m. every day from now on. Tonight, make sure you get a lot of sleep because we start work tomorrow, Jane, and Kakashi disappeared in a puff of smoke. Alright, let's go celebrate, you guys in? Asked Sakura. No, we're staying here for the moment, said Naruto. What do you mean, dope? Said Sasuke. It means that I'm going to explain something to you too, said Naruto as he faced Sasuke and Sakura with a serious expression on his face. Growing up, I've known the Hatake from an past experience that I remember, and it seems as if he isn't going to acknowledge the face of what he did. But that doesn't matter now. What I mean is that the Hatake will not be a good teacher to me or Sakura, only to Sasuke, but even then Sasuke will be as strong as a higher than average genin. Said Naruto. How do you know this? Shrieked Sakura. Because the Hatake feels guilty for not saving his Uchiha friend that died way back when he first became a Jonin. Not only that, but the council has ordered him to train Sasuke more than Sakura and to not train me at all. Said Naruto. Why would they do that? Asked a now interested Uchiha. Since you are the last Uchiha in Konoha, the council wants to tie you down to Konoha and believe you can only get stronger here, making sure that you won't follow your older brother's footsteps and leave the village. Sakura now had a shocked face on her because she knew what happened to the Uchiha that night a good 4 years ago. Sasuke was angry, though. How could the council try to make sure that he didn't turn into his brother? The council didn't know the whole story behind the Uchiha Maker. Those bastards, thought an angry Sasuke as he clenched his fist to control himself. I know one thing, continued Naruto, is that I will not have a weak team, so I will train both of you so when the time is right, we will reveal our true strength together and show Konoha not to with us. Said a dead serious Naruto. You're going to train us, dope. I'm stronger than you, so how can you train me, an Uchiha elite? Laughed Sasuke. Then faster than the two could see, Naruto grabbed Sasuke by his throat and slammed him down to the ground. Ga hhhhhh. Howled Sasuke in pain from the powerful and sudden attack. Stop this, Naruto, yelled Sakura as she tried to throw a punch at Naruto, only for him to catch and to knee Sakura in the stomach, causing her to spit blood out of her mouth. If you really think I'm weak, then you shall soon change your mind after this, said Naruto as he started his ult on Sasuke and Sakura. He continued his attack for a good half hour. The two tried to fight back, but they were facing a ninja who could face the Hokage and win with so much as a scratch on him. After a while, Sasuke was slammed down into the ground, bruises and open wounds all over his body, Sakura looking in the same right beside Sasuke. Naruto then slammed his foot on Sasuke's stomach, causing him to throw up blood on the ground. With his foot still on top of Sasuke, Naruto looked down at Sasuke, an angry expression on his face. "Are you stronger than the Hokage?" asked Naruto. Sasuke didn't answer him, causing Naruto to get angrier and stomped on his stomach again, causing indescribable pain to Sasuke. "I said, are you stronger than the Hokage?" yelled Naruto. No. Wheezed out Sasuke. "Are you stronger than the Hatake?" "No," he replied. "Are you stronger than you, brother?" "No, I'm not." "Are you stronger than me?" yelled Naruto. I'm as weak as a regular genin, that's what I keep running away from. Saying that I'm an Uchiha doesn't make me strong at all, it's just my last name, said a very sad Sasuke. It's good that you understand your limit. If you listen to me, you will get stronger. If you listen to me and not the Hatake, don't do what Konoha wants you to do. Both of you, said Naruto. Sakura and Sasuke looked at each other to see if this was the right choice. After a while, they both nodded their heads to Naruto, agreeing to his proposition. Good. Then he grabbed them both and they all left the training ground. Outside Konoha Hospital, the new team appeared in a red flash in front of the hospital, Sasuke and Sakura wondering how they got there. Naruto then went to his pocket and gave a stack of money to the two and said, "Tell the doctors that you both came back from a terrible mission and were hurt very bad. This will cover the medical bills. You two need to be in full health by tomorrow because after we finish our D-rank mission, we start training." Then he started to walk away but turned around to Sasuke and said, "Oh yeah, Uchiha, do me a favor and turn off those cursed eyes, goodbye." And he disappeared in a red flash again. Sasuke didn't understand what he was talking about at first, but then he took off his headband and used it as a mirror to see his eyes were now red with two black tomes in each eye. Sakura and Sasuke looked at each other, before walking into the hospital. It's been 2 months since Naruto whooped Sasuke and Sakura's and took them in as his apprentices. What Naruto told Sasuke and Sakura about the Kakashi only training Sasuke was correct. Kakashi would only train Sasuke, and when he did, it really wasn't nothing serious because of Kakashi's laziness. When the team would finish their D-rank missions and Kakashi would dismiss the team, the three genin would head to training ground 7 every day for 2 months. Naruto first found out that Sasuke had fire and lightning elements while Sakura had the earth nature element. Sasuke has practice in his clan's Jutsu. After him and Naruto went into the Uchiha clan library, which was old and abandoned, they took most of the fire, lightning, and earth Jutsu they saw. Sasuke also started in training in Kenjutsu, which he took in like water to a sponge. Naruto made sure that he trained him in his chakra control and then started on mid-chunin level Jutsu and higher. Sasuke also learned everything he could about his Sharingan, and to make sure he knew that it was another tool, and that it didn't make him better than everyone else. As of right now, Sasuke was at a mid to high chunin level at ninjutsu, high chunin at kenjutsu, low chunin at genjutsu, mid chunin at taijutsu, overall making him at a mid chunin level. Sakura, on the other hand, was a secret prodigy. She learned over 75% of the Earth-style Jutsu from the Uchiha clan library that was inside of her chakra level. She had perfect chakra control, and took into medical Jutsu. She also learned the chakra scalpel technique and added it to her taijutsu, so it was almost like the Hyuga clan's taijutsu. The Earth Jutsu she learned were mostly defensive, but then she made up for it in her genjutsu. She was better than Sasuke at genjutsu, which almost pissed him off, but if he demanded her to tell him her secret, Naruto would beat him down again. Sakura would also add chakra to her fist, with her perfect chakra control, to make herself stronger, just like a certain Sannin. As of now, Sakura was a mid-chunin at ninjutsu, low genin at kenjutsu, mid-chunin at genjutsu, low chunin at taijutsu, overall making her at a low chunin level. Sasuke and Sakura also came to respect Naruto. He took the time to train them when the council was only going to train Sasuke only a little. They understood the fact that Naruto doesn't care for them, which was something they tried to change, only to fail time and time again. Naruto said that he doesn't trust anyone and loves only himself. But after every time he said that, he would grunt like he was in pain, and the two could have swore they smelt the smell of burnt flesh in the air. The training the team did was always done in secret, and nobody would even catch on of it either. Now they were about to receive their first C-rank mission from the Hokage. Mission Hall Konoha. Somebody get this damn cat of me, screeched Sakura as she held the demon cat of all Konoha. Ah, come on Sakura, it isn't that bad, stated Kakashi with an eye smile and giving the cat to its rightful owner. So sensei, do you have another mission for us? I prefer it to be a higher one this time. I believe the team is ready for it. Well, there is this C rank I can give them, said Minato. A C rank. Let's get it sensei. I'm so sick and tired of painting fences and dig up plants. Let's do some real ninja missions, exclaimed Sakura to Kakashi. Hold on Sakura, let's see what the mission is first. Sensei, said Kakashi, asking if Minato would keep reading. It's a simple mission where you are to guard the bridge builder, Tazuna, back to Nami no Kuni, the land of the waves. Let him in, said the Hokage. As soon as he said that, an old man who looked over the age of 60, and the smell of alcohol reeking off of him. This is the team that's going to protect me, they're nothing but little kids. The black-haired kid looks like there is a duck, that girl's hair is making me go blind, and the blonde, he then looked at Naruto and shivered, he gives me the creeps. After trying to control Sakura and Sasuke because they were trying to kill Tazuna, they went off to go get their supplies, but before they left, Minato said something to Naruto. Look at me before you go, demon, he said to Naruto. Naruto turned to Minato and looked him dead in the eye. What? You behave yourself during this mission, if not, there will be consequences, understood? He said. TCH, you do not scare me, Naruto said and left out the room. When he left, Minato saw Sasuke glaring at him before he left, too. What did I ever do to him? Minato thought as he continued his work. 1 hour later, an hour outside Konoha. This trip was boring to Naruto. All the walking they were doing was making him bored. He would have enjoyed it if he was by himself. He liked being outdoors, seeing he is a half-fox demon, and that he spent half his life living in a cell, being outdoors was great. It was the people he was with that made him mad. Kakashi was over there giggling to himself while he was reading his smut he calls a work of art. Sakura was running around seeing all the animals and being excited in leaving the village for the first time, and Tazuna was drinking the walk away with a heavy-smelling alcohol, which was affecting Naruto's nose a lot. The only other person that had some common sense was Sasuke, as he was just walking and watching out for enemies, which Naruto was grateful for. Then, out of the corner of his eye, Naruto saw a small puddle of water right beside a tree and noticed it was a genjutsu quickly. He saw that Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura noticed as well. Tazuna was too busy tripping over himself, not that he would notice anyway. Once they ped by the puddle, he sensed that 2 people came out and was ready to attack. Naruto didn't feel like getting his nails dirty though, so he gave it to the other 2 genin. Uchiha, Haruno, deal with it, was all he said. The 2 quickly turned around and met the 2 ninja with kunai in hand and parried the poison claws they had. They all jumped back and recharged at each other. Sasuke, before meeting his opponent again, took another kunai and threw it to the shuriken chain the 2 rogue ninja had attached to their clawed hands, and stuck it to a tree. Both ninjas fell down on the ground because of the attack. Sakura then stabbed the 2 in the arm that didn't have the claw hand on it, making it impossible for the 2 to move either arm. Sasuke and Sakura then put kunai to the rogue ninja's neck, signifying their defeat. Wow. Good job you two. You handle the situation well. He said to the two. He then tied the two and recognized who they were. These two are Gozu and Maizu, the demon brothers, and are ex-ninja of Kurigakure, the land of mist. They are Chunin-leveled ninja, which brings me to ask why they are trying to kill you Tazuna. Said a serious Kakashi to a shaking Tazuna. All right. I lied about the mission difficulty when I gave the mission to Konoha because Wave doesn't have the money to pay for a higher ranking mission. The only I could have afford was AC rank. Then he started to fake cry and said, "It's okay if you want to quit, I'll understand. But when I die, my daughter might kill herself and my grandson may cry for months cursing Konoha's name, but it's all okay." Ahahahaha. Then he started to laugh and cry. He wants to make us feel bad, they thought as everyone except Naruto sweat dropped. Kakashi then turned to the genin and said, "It depends if you all want to continue this mission. You don't want to, I won't blame you and we can head home now." Said Kakashi. Instantly, Naruto replied, "There's no way in hell I'm going back to Konoha after I just got out. I rather deal with this drunk old man than the villagers and my family." He said in a dead tone. Everyone, except for Tazuna, wasn't surprised about Naruto's answer, as he expressed many times his hatred for Konoha. Kakashi saw that Sakura and Sasuke wanted to continue as well, in which they did, receiving many thanks from Taswana. Hours later Ocean, the team and Tazuna were on a boat take them to the land of waves, and they all see the bridge being built in the mist. Wow. That's the biggest bridge I've ever seen. Why do you build it in this heavy mist, Mr. Tazuna? Asks Sakura. We do it to hide it from Gato, the tyrant who taken over Wave. If we can build it, we can bring money into Wave, saving the land. He wisely stated. When the group made it back on the land, they started walking again. After a while, something was rustling in a bush, in which Naruto attacked. After what sounded like a struggle, Naruto came back with a rabbit between his canine-like teeth. He took it out and said, "This is dinner." And put it back in his mouth. While everyone was kind of freaked out at the display, Kakashi noticed something. That rabbit's fur is white, but it's not that season anymore, meaning it's kept in the inside. That means, everyone get down now. Kakashi tackled Tazuna to the ground. The rest of the genin ducked down to dodge a flying sword going over their heads. The sword lodged itself into a tree and a man jumped on top of it. He had gray-like skin, bandages over his mouth, no shirt revealing his bare chest, gray pants, black sandals, and no eyebrows whatsoever. Look who I ran into this time, Hitaki Kakashi, the copy ninja and martyr of 1,000 just sue because of your implanted Sharingan. Said the man. And your Momochi Zabuza, ex-Kiri ninja but left when you weren't appointed Muzukage, you're also on of the 7 swordsmen of mist. Explained Kakashi. Well, aren't I honored? The copy ninja even knows about me, my name must be out there. Well, I didn't come here to talk about names, I can for the bridge builder, hand him over. Yelled Zabuza. The genin then brought out their kunai and made protective stances over a terrified Tazuna. Look at this. Little kids that are trying to play ninja, what a sight to see, Zabuza joked. Kids, have you ever killed someone yet? Because when I was your age, then a fierce look came upon his face as he released a tremendous ki towards the genin. I had already a whole CL room of kids. He yelled. Sakura and Sasuke were taking the ki better than they would have if they didn't train under Naruto, but the ki was still making them shake a little. Naruto then smiled at Zabuza, his insane side starting to come out because of the ki towards him and said, a CL room of kids, that's child's play, I've killed a mob of people when I was 6. He said with a bloodthirsty smile. Then, unknown to anyone, Naruto used his mysterious ability and absorbed all of Zabuza's ki to him. Once done, he took a deep breath and smiled. Let's start, I've been itching for a while to fight. Sasuke and Sakura started to back away. No, Naruto, this person is beyond your level, stand back and let me handle it, said an ignorant Kakashi. Then, mist started to form around the area, making eyesight brought down to zero. You'll have to find me first, Kakashi. I am a professional at silent killing, as you may know. Zabuza said as he disappeared in the mist. Shit, I'll have to take him seriously now, thought Kakashi as he revealed his Sharingan. Zabuza started to list off all the points he could attack to kill instantly, trying to scare the genin, only to scare Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto just held back and let Kakashi handle the man. He did think he saw an orange tree around here somewhere. And quickly as he could, he put his claws on and turned around to block Zabuza's Kubikiribocho slash. He too started to move around the area, fighting each other. Zabuza used a downward slash, trying to cut Naruto in half, only for Naruto to use his superior speed and dodge, then give Zabuza a deep cut on his stomach. He jumped back and screamed out, Fuden, Gale Palm, and sent a blast of wind directly at Zabuza's back, which hit him hard, causing him to throw up blood from his mouth. Damn, that shit hurt. This kid isn't a joke, thought Zabuza as he saw Naruto look at his right claw that was covered in his blood. It's been a while. I should just rip him to shreds, forget the Hatake and holding back my power, I can kill them all right here, thought Naruto as he started shaking in excitement with an insane look on his face, his red eyes flashing dangerously. No, said Kurama from his mind, you must stick to plan, calm down for now and I promise you'll get to kill later, Naruto-kun. She said dead serious. Reluctantly, Naruto calmed down and jumped back towards Sasuke, Sakura, and Tazuna. Why did you stop? You were winning, Naruto, whispered Sakura. With a growl he answered, because Kurama-chan told me to stop. And then blew out some fire from his mouth. Kurama-chan, thought Sakura and Sasuke, who heard the small conversation from his position. After a while, Kakashi got himself captured in Zabuza's water prison technique. Run. You can't handle him, he's too strong for you all. He yelled, seemingly forgot about Naruto's performance on Zabuza earlier. I've got a plan, said Sasuke, ignoring Kakashi's cries of protest. Sakura then formed a wall of earth using Doden, mud wall to hid the shadow clones that Naruto was forming. Then, Sasuke jumped from over the wall and threw a Fuma Shuriken at the water clone that Zabuza formed to protect him. The clone raised his sword, ready to protect himself, but noticed the shuriken underneath it as well. Demon Windmill Shadow Shuriken, smirked Sasuke as he watched as the shuriken close into the clone. The clone braced itself and used a downward slash to cut through the real shuriken and destroying the fake shuriken. He looked up to only see two more shurikens being thrown by two Narutos. It quickly jumped over the shuriken and it was now heading for the real Zabuza. The shuriken then transformed to reveal the real Naruto, now running towards Zabuza on the water with claws ready to slash through flesh. Damn, I got to move. And he released his hand from water prison, freeing Kakashi in the process, and jumping away from Naruto's deadly claws. I'll take care that brat right now. Sweden. Water Dragon Technique. He yelled and sent a large water dragon towards Kakashi and Naruto, only for another water dragon to counter it. What? My Justsu. Who did that? Then he remembered who he was going up against, the copy ninja of Konoha. This is it, Zabuza, yelled Kakashi, and faster than Zabuza made hand size for his next Justsu. Sweden. Great Waterfall Justsu Technique. And Kakashi sent a flood of water towards Zabuza, which hit him with great force, knocking him back to shore and heavily damaged. When Naruto and Kakashi got back on land to end Zabuza, two Senbons implanted themselves into Zabuza's neck, effectively killing him. Then a masked Kiri ninja came up to Kakashi. Thank you, Hatake-san, for helping me kill this man. Kiri has been hunting him down for some time now, and because of you we can rest easier now, said the masked ninja with a female voice. Glad to help, he said with an eye smile, and he put his headband back over his Sharingan. With a nod of her head she took Zabuza's body and disappeared. Good work, team, the teamwork you displayed was amazing. Now while we're getting to wave, watch over my body for me. He said as his one eye rolled to the back of his head and fainted. One of you two are holding his body, Tazuna, please lead the way. Said a calm Naruto. Of course, right this way. You can rest easy at my house. He said as him and Naruto ped by Kakashi's almost dead-looking body. Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other and sweat dropped together. I'll get his legs, said a depressed Sasuke. I'll get his head, said an equally depressed Sakura. Tazuna's house. The group came up to a 2-story house in the forest. Before getting there, they had to go through town, and they saw the poverty that took over the people there. Children dressed in rags, people looking dead because of lost hope, stores with a lack of food, just about everything was broke. The only person who was comfortable there was Naruto, having gone through the same things and then some. When Tazuna knocked on the door, a beautiful with long black hair, black eyes, smooth-looking skin, wearing a red sweater and black dress skirt answered the door. Father, she yelled as she jumped on Tazuna and held on to him in an impressive grip. Hold on, Tsunami. You know I have a bad back, damn. He said as he tried to hold on to his daughter. Tsunami, these are the ninja who I hired to protect me and have done so very well. He said, thank you for protecting my father, I am forever in your debt. She said with a wonderful smile that makes Sasuke blush. She then noticed Kakashi and told them to lay him down on the couch inside. Inari, your grandfather is home. Get down here, yelled Tsunami. A boy came from upstairs, with a blue and white striped hat, blue overalls, and a white shirt underneath who look around the age of 7. Hello, Grandpa, the boy said as he held onto his grandfather. Naruto, not used to seeing true love, walked out of the house because the situation in there was uncomfortable and walked back into town. In town, Naruto walked around and saw buildings which people lived in that looked like they were going to be demolished. The roads were dirty, everyone was skinny, and no happiness was seen. Yup, he felt real comfortable now. He found a hill and sat on it looking at the town below. It was all Gato's fault that the town was in such a state. Everyone had went through something living in Wave, someone should help them. Make this land yours, said Kurama. What? Asked Naruto. I said make this land yours, we need a base of operations and I am not going to let you live in a cell for the rest of your life. When we leave Konoha, we can come here and make our moves away from Konoha. She explained. Yes, you are right. Everyone here is miserable, and I can see myself in some kind of way in them. I will take Gato down and start to make base here. But we need allies, but who? Asked Naruto. Start with that Zabuza guy, he isn't dead because of the Senbon, so we can convince him to be on our side. Then we can start to rebuild Wave to my image. Said Kurama. All right, it is decide, Wave will be mine. Said Naruto as he headed back to the house. A week later, Kakashi had woken up and explained to the genin that Zabuza was still alive. He said that he would train them in tree climbing, but they said they already knew that. He asked if they knew water walking, which they all shocked their heads to again. Kakashi settled with trained Sasuke for now while Sakura and Naruto did their own thing. Naruto woke up and went downstairs to see Tsunami cleaning some fish. He walked over to watch how she did it, interested in anything that had to deal with meat. Good morning, Naruto-san. She said. Hello, he said in a dead voice. She continued to clean without care that Naruto was watching, and Naruto saw the knife she held in her hands to clean the fish. The item in your hand, it is called a knife, right? He asked. You don't know what a knife is? She looked at him funny. I never knew what it was, I just remember them when I was a kid when the villagers stabbed me with them. He said like it was a regular thing. Tsunami, however, jumped when she heard this. What? Why would they do that to you, a poor child? She said as kneeled down to get to Naruto's height. He then explained that the village considers him a demon because of what he held in his life in the village and how he was treated during his whole life. When he was finished, Tsunami was openly crying at Naruto. She then hugged Naruto, which surprised him because Kurama's hug would hurt him. Oh, you poor child, you've never been loved, your family and neighbors hate you for something out of your control, that's too cruel. She cried on his shoulder. Why do you care? Can't you see that I'm a bad thing to be around? He said to Tsunami. No, Naruto, I can tell you're a good boy, even after what happened 6 years ago. You were just angry and went out of control. What you really want is someone to talk to and truly understand you. She said. When Naruto heard this, his eyes got wide. Truly understand, but I thought Kurama-chan said that she was the only person who can truly understand me, not this woman. He thought. Tsunami then released Naruto and told him to be with her whenever he could so she could teach him about anything he needed to know. Naruto then asked her, how would I need to restore Wave into a proper village? Tsunami smiled at him and said, what the people of Wave need is hope. Everyone believes that they're doomed to die because of Gato, but I know someone will save us and take down Gato. She said, and how do I give the people hope? He asked. Tsunami widened her eyes when she heard his question. Is he really going to try and help? She thought as she looked at him. Then she answered his question. Maybe give the people something to eat or rebuild the house that are close to falling down. She said. Naruto nodded to Tsunami and walked out the door, ready to go give his future people whatever this hope word meant. Naruto was thinking about what Tsunami said, to start to give the people of Wave hope, to revolt and become a better village, they should be fed and the buildings should be repaired. Let's start with food first, but where should I get food enough for a good 500 people, thought Naruto. Then Naruto caught the smell of wild hog in the air. Getting a good whiff of the air, he could tell that there was many in the area, only spread out. Naruto got a dangerous smile on his face as he put on his claws. Let's get to work, shall we? He thought as he ran into the forest. Another side of the forest. Kakashi brought Sasuke and Sakura out to the forest to talk about a couple things he's noticed in the group. He couldn't find Naruto, so he had to settle with these two. Alright, you two, where did you learn those moves you used on the walk from Konoha to Wave? He said. Sasuke and Sakura started to sweat real bad. Naruto said that if they told people that they were training under him, bad things would happen. Just thinking about that made the two scared enough. Quickly thinking, Sasuke started off first. I've been training for years in my clan's Jutsu, although I only have a small amount of Jutsu and that they're only high D rank. Said a sweating Sasuke. Fair enough. Good job, Sasuke, you're turning into an exceptional shinobi. Then he turned to Sakura. What about you, Miss Haruno? Well, I've been, training with Ino's clan. She yelled. Oh really? For how long? Said a curious Kakashi. Not too long, really. Only like a month before the academy exams. The only jutsu I learned was my Doden, mud wall technique, and I built my chakra control Mivli with then as well. She explained. Oh well, that explains that. I just wanted to know that you all were taking your time in training and not rushing yourself. After all, you are still kids. You should enjoy your golden years while you have them. Anyway, I'm going back to the bridge with Tazuna. Jane. He said and disappeared in a body flicker. Thank God that's over with. Said Sakura as she sat down on the ground. Yeah, we couldn't let Kakashi find out about the training we've been doing, or we would suffer Naruto's wrath. He said and shuddered at the thought of Naruto's beatings. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go through that again. Said Sakura. She then looked up at the sky as the wind blew through her hair. We've changed a lot since we have been with him. She said. Yeah, you're right. Said Sasuke as he took a seat next to Sakura. Sasuke remembered that he used to be a whole, like the Namikaze twins, as he put down everything that even tried to come up to him. He only focused on getting stronger to reach Itachi. But now he knew that other things were more important than chasing after him. Sakura remembered that she was a major Sasuke fangirl, chasing after Sasuke with no other thing in mind. Sure, she was smart, but she was weak in every other aspect at being a ninja. She was actually, and thank God for this, quieter than she usually was when she was training with Naruto. Naruto brought the best out of the both of him. You know, the only person who hasn't changed is Naruto. He has always been distant from everyone. Always alone, said Sakura, thinking about what she heard this morning when she was listening in on Tsunami and Naruto's conversation. What do you mean? Said Sasuke, and Sakura started to tell Sasuke everything she heard from the conversation this morning. 2 hours later, Wave Town Square. A line of Narutos were walking into the middle of Wave. He had all kinds of dead animals with him. He killed wild hogs, deer, rabbits, almost anything you could find in the forest. He brought some kindle and big logs in also, to burn so he could cook his large kill. He also made plates from the stone that came out of the river, the water cleaning the stone of any impurities. Naruto built a large camp-like bonfire, and started to cook his kill, gaining a lot of attraction. What's that kid doing? Asked a villager. I don't know, but damn, that stuff smells really good, exclaimed another. Soon, a whole circle was around Naruto and his clones. Then, Naruto took out a marker, got some wood that was laying down, and wrote, "Get in line if you want delicious food," it said. As soon as people read that, they got into a straight line and Naruto started serving them. This went on for a good 2 hours. People who haven't had food in days, now stuffed with meat in their stomachs with rations to spare. People actually started smiling and laughing, talking amongst each other, which hasn't happened in a long time. Kids were playing around in the streets like they just weren't struggling to survive a while ago. Naruto looked at this scene and frowned. What is this feeling I have? It feels so foreign to me. I can't describe it, thought Naruto. Then the people started thanking him, saying that this was just like a dream to them. One of the older women came up to Naruto. "Excuse me, boy, but what is your name?" she said. Naruto. "Ah, Naruto, you're such a good boy for doing this for the people, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart," she said. Then people started to cheer his name. Naruto. Naruto. The villagers yelled. Naruto's eyes widened when he heard this. A good boy, he said in his mind as he thought back to what Tsunami said to him. Naruto, you really are a good boy, you've just been hurt for so long that you don't open up to anyone, he replayed in his head over and over again. He started to breath heavy as he kept thinking. But Kurama-chan said that I was supposed to be evil-like to fit her image and become a good mate, a good demon. Why is it what Tsunami-san said and Kurama-chan said so different, he thought, not noticing the honorific he gave to Tsunami's name. Meanwhile, Kurama was listening to Naruto's thoughts and didn't like them, not one bit. Tsunami-san. Tsunami-san. Sa-an. That bitch. What is she trying to do to Naruto? I swear if she tries to fill my man with these terrible thoughts of helping people and actually acting human, he might lose the love he secretly holds for me and for it to be sent to her instead. Thought a very worried Kurama. She was going to have to do something about Tsunami really quick to make Naruto forget about what she said to him. I'll make my move tonight and handle the situation as quietly as I can, she thought with a smirk on her face. Back to the gathering in the middle of Wave, the people were so busy partying that they didn't notice 3 of Gato's thugs come up with their hands on their blades' sheath. What's going on here? Said the thug in the middle, most likely the leader. It got dead quiet as the thugs walked around the people, who still haven't said anything yet. Then they noticed the food that everyone had. He grabbed a plate and raised it in the air. Who's responsible for this? He asked, only to get no reply again. So, no one knows, he said as he started to get his sword out, scaring a few people. I did this, said a voice the thugs couldn't recognize. They started looking around for the owner of voice. Then when they heard a, down here, they looked down to see Naruto, with a rabbit's foot sticking out his mouth, the same one he caught when he met Zabuza. The thugs didn't see Naruto because of how small he was. Even though he was a powerhouse, Kurama still couldn't understand why he was only 4 feet 11. The thugs looked at Naruto and started laughing at him. It was too hilarious to think that this little kid could have did all this. Why do you laugh? Asked Naruto. There's no way a little pathetic little boy did this. He said. Then he did something that sealed his fate. He spit in Naruto's face. It was sliding down his cheek, almost touching his hoodie, his precious hoodie. Did he wait a second? What did that just happen? Oh, it did happen. Kill him. Screamed out Kurama from the mindscape. Faster than any could see, red chains came from Naruto's back and wrapped themselves around the three thugs' stomach. He then squeezed them with so much force, he broke every rib in their bodies. The thugs were then dropped on the ground, making them scream even louder. Naruto then wiped the spit off him, then laid out some kunai. I'll let the villagers take care of you. And walked away. The citizens grabbed the kunai and smiled at the thugs who were shaking in fear, their screams could be heard for miles. Naruto asked around for a builder of houses, which he found. They talked and Naruto said that he would offer his services, which made the man very happy. Naruto headed back to Tazuna's house after that. Tazuna's house dinner. Everyone was eating around the table. Tsunami made a big feast, because Naruto brought 2 deer that he helped her skin. The food is delicious, Tsunami, good work. Said Tazuna as he ate with 3 plates in his face. Thank you, father, but as was all Naruto who went and caught the food, and he helped me skin them really fast. She said with a smile towards Naruto. How did you do it, Naruto? Asked a very full Kakashi. Naruto then showed him his longer than average nails. My nails are stronger than steel, they can cut through skin and flesh easily, I just use my claws because it's hard getting the skin from underneath them. Said Naruto, and Sasuke and Sakura shivered, knowing firsthand that what he said was true. The table was filled with laughter and smacking because of the delicious food that Naruto and Tsunami, but there was one person didn't like what was going on in the house. Why do you all care what happens to us? Said Inari, and the table got dead quiet. Inari, stop, said Tsunami. No, I don't understand why they came here. They say they came to protect Grandpa, but I know they're only in it for the money. These people don't know of our suffering. Living in those big ninja villages where they're all nice and protected, while we deal with people like Gato. Gato will just kill them when he wants to anyway. Said Inari. Inari, stop. They aren't here for money, they truly care about our problems. Why would Naruto do what he did if he didn't? Said Tsunami. Inari then pointed his finger at Naruto, who was ignoring the whole conversation over his rabbit stew, in which he found way more interesting. He's the worst of them all. He first came into this house with no emotions at all. I heard what you did at town today, but what you did won't last. When you leave, all that hope you gave them will go back down and everything will go back to being the same. Wave looking like a dead wasteland. He said, only to see that Naruto was still eating. Are you even listening to me? Yelled Inari. Naruto took a deep breath, put his spoon down and looked at Inari with his red eyes flashing. You are annoying, I wish I couldn't hear you so I can continue to eat, but it seems you won't let this go. He then stood up and walked up to Inari, bending down to see Inari eye to eye. The reason I gave all those people food today was because of your mother saying it was a good way to give them hope. That hope will give them the necessary strength to rebel against Gato, strength they don't seem to have now. Next, I shall start rebuilding the broken houses that seem to take over Wave, and then I'll kill Gato. Said Naruto, surprising everyone in the room. What? Said Inari. I will kill Gato and everything that has to do with him. That's my plan to free Wave. Now, to me it sounds like you don't want that to happen. You say that I don't care about Wave, but I've already done more than anyone has, including you. All you do is cry upstairs hoping that something would change, someone would help, but now that I'm here, you curse my name. Said Naruto as he then got right into Inari's face, scaring him in the process. You also said that I don't know what suffering is, when it should be switched around. Do you know who it feels to be betrayed by your family, your father sealing a demon inside you? Or how it feels to be beaten daily up to the age of 6? How it feels to be stabbed, beaten with poles, sticks, anything that could cause pain. How about eating from the garbage and sleeping behind a dumpster with a newspaper as a blanket? How about living in a cell without seeing sunlight for 2 years? Or to be mentally tortured by the same demon your father sealed into you, him? Do you understand my pain? Can you comprehend how insane I really am? Yelled Naruto as his fangs started to grow longer, his eyes flashing even more, an insane smile on his face. By this time Naruto backed Inari into a wall, releasing a ki so strong that even Kakashi was frozen in place. Why aren't you talking, boy? I told you the difference between you and me. My persecutors hurt me all my life, but the thing is, I got them back. I killed a mob of a good 55 people and smiled while I did it. I said earlier that I don't like flesh underneath my nails, but that time I didn't care. It felt good to feel their blood on my nails, my skin, on the same alleyway where they wanted to kill me. You, on the other hand, cry over a picture of your dead father, not changing a thing. So what I want you to do is that exact thing, go run away and cry. Naruto said with a smile on his face. He backed away to give Inari room, and as soon as he did, he ran upstairs, crying a storm. Naruto saw this and started laughing, scaring everyone with such a creep laugh. He then got the rest of his soup, drained it, and left out the house, but not before saying, "Time to start the second step." And left the house, still laughing. When the ki Naruto was letting out was finally gone, everyone took a deep breath. Kakashi-sensei, is what Naruto said true? About what he went through? She said, and everyone looked at Kakashi. Yes, and what he said was just an idea of what he went through, he said, and then got a deep breath and continued, and I was once one of them. He said with guilt. What? Why would you do that to him? Said Tsunami as she yelled at Kakashi. I don't know. I was pinged by the alley and I heard something that pissed me off. Flashback alleyway in Konoha. Kakashi was pinged by an alleyway when he heard screams. He went inside the alleyway to see what was happening and saw a mob of people around a certain boy. That's what you get, demon. We're going to finish what the fourth started. Then Naruto looked up and said, the fourth, he's the one that did this to me. He screamed. When Naruto said that, a switch went off in Kakashi's head. How could he say something like that about his sensei? Kakashi pushed his way through the mob to be right in front of a young, bloody, Naruto. Kakashi saw red when he looked at him. Did you say, the fourth? Sensei is a great person. Never say that around me. Suffer your punishment, demon. And Kakashi shoved a lightning blade in Naruto's shoulder, causing him to scream and pee out. The people were shouting out in praise of Kakashi finally killing Naruto, but he saw different. He saw the dead look in his eyes, the pain he went through, an innocent kid. Oh my god, what have I just done? Thought Kakashi. He quickly left then scene and went to his house to drink away what he just done. End flashback. I don't know why I did it. I just got so angry when he disrespected sensei like that. Yelled an angry Kakashi. Does Naruto know it was you who did it? Whispered Sasuke. I don't know. He hasn't said anything about it when I first saw him in the academy. I haven't seen him in so long and I didn't think I would have him as a student. Said Kakashi. Sakura was shaking in anger. How could he do that to Naruto? Naruto really is a good person, he just doesn't trust anyone, and it was because of people like Kakashi. Sakura then walked up to Kakashi, and with a chakra-enhanced palm, slapped Kakashi right across his masked face. Smack. It was so loud, that Naruto even heard it in the forest. Sakura just looked at a surprised Kakashi, his cheek now bleeding bad from the hit. She just looked at him, and then turned around and headed towards the door. I'm looking for Naruto. And left. Sasuke soon followed her lead and left, not before giving Kakashi a Sharingan glare. What have I done? Thought Kakashi as he went to tend to his cheek. Gato's hideout with Haku and Zabuza. Won't be long now, in a few days, we'll go back and kill those Leaf Ninja and the bridge builder. Said Zabuza as he laid in his bed. Sure thing San. I'll be there with you all the way. Said Haku. Thank you, my daughter. Said Zabuza. Zabuza found Haku more than 8 years ago and treated her like his own. He loved Haku like the daughter he never had. Haku loved him back the same way, like the father she never had. Well, actually, she did have a father, but he killed her mother and then tried to kill her too because of her bloodline because he thought those with bloodlines were monsters. You all get what I'm saying. Then, the two heard something on their window. Haku got out her bed and turned on the light. Zabuza lifted himself up out of his bed and grabbed his kubikiribocho, ready for a fight. The window slid open and a figure came in, the hood of its hoodie over its head. Reveal yourself, yelled Zabuza. The figure lifted the hood to show the face of Naruto. Gah, you're one of Kakashi's brats, said Zabuza. Yes, but I didn't come here for a fight, I come to talk, said a calm Naruto as he raised his hands in surrender. What should we do San? Asked Haku. Zabuza looked in Naruto's eyes for deceit and found none. He then lowered his sword, nodding his head to Haku to lower her senbon. All right, go ahead and talk, Gaki, said Zabuza. I will, but I must warn you, if you don't agree with what I say, I will have to kill you and your daughter. But if you agree, you won't have to be a missing nin and never worry about money again. Stated Naruto. Never worry about money again, that's all he had to say, thought Zabuza. All right Gaki, tell us your plan, said Zabuza. I will kill Gato whenever you come to attack us because I know he will not hold his side of the bargain you two had together. He plans to kill you two the day you attack my team, so he can get away without paying you. I will kill all of the guards, thugs, and free everyone that he has made slaves. I will then put them in Wave. I will take Gato's money and use it to begin to rebuild Wave, and give you triple of what he was going to pay you. Said Naruto. Triple, said Zabuza as his eyes held dollar signs in them. Haku's eyes just widened when she heard the amount they would be receiving. Yes, triple. But here is when you have something in the deal. I will make Wave my own land when I leave Konoha for reasons I can't tell you yet. But when I'm done with my mission here, I will find allies to send to Wave to start a new ninja village. One without corruption, where there is true peace. I shall lead it. The first allies I want are you and your daughter, Haku. You're both very skilled and can become stronger if you weren't on the run all the time. While I'm gone from Wave, you will protect it and the people I send over here. He said. But how will you send more allies over to Wave without rising suspicion? Asked Haku. I can only reveal that when I am sure that you are on my side. Said Naruto. Zabuza walked over to Haku and the two had a small discussion, and Zabuza came back to Naruto and stuck in his hand. Alright, we agree with the terms, just keep your side of the deal and everything will go fine on our end. Said Zabuza. Naruto shook his hand. Good. Now I shall tell you the way how I'm going to send people over. Then brought out piece of paper with a red kanji for the word, 9, on it. With this I shall use my form of the Hiraishin and send people over to Wave. Said Naruto. The Hiraishin? Who do you think you are? The fourth Hokage's son. Exclaimed an ignorant Zabuza. Precisely, but he doesn't see me as his son, and I don't see him as my father. But other than that, the next time my team fights you, I'll knock Kakashi out and kill Gato. Said Naruto. What about the other brats? Asked Zabuza. Don't worry about them, I'll take care of them. That is all, I shall see you two soon, goodbye. Said Naruto as he disappeared in a red flash. Outside Tazuna's house, Naruto was approaching the house, when he felt something wrong with his body. What's going on? Thought Naruto. Naruto, said Kurama. Kurama-chan, said Naruto. Naruto, you know that I love you, right? She asked. Yes. Then please forgive me for this, because I'm doing this for you. She said. Then, all of a sudden, Naruto fell on the ground, unconscious. Tsunami's room. Tsunami was getting warm and started to sweat in her bed. She didn't know why, It was just early springtime, it shouldn't be this hot during the night. She then got out of her bed to get a thinner blanket, when she looked up to see Naruto with a smirk on his face. Naruto, she said drowsily. What are you saying, Naruto? Asked a nervous Tsunami. You're not talking to Naruto-kun, this is the almighty Kyuubi you're talking to now. Naruto is asleep right now and I took over to talk to your man stealing. Said Kurama. Tsunami suddenly jumped out her bed when she heard that she was talking to the same demon that hurt Naruto for so long. You're the one who's been hurting Naruto for so long. Torturing him, raping him, and for what? Yelled Tsunami. To make him see my way, of course. Said Kurama, as she sat down on Tsunami's bed. To make him see my side of things instead of his own. Hurting him would only make him want to get away from you though. Said Tsunami. Remember, I am a demon. I hardly know what kindness is. When I first got to Naruto, I was going to hurt him so he could submit himself to me, but Naruto has a stubborn nature, he won't give up. But trust me, soon he will give into my influence. Said Kurama with a evil smile. That's terrible, he should be able to make his own decisions, be whatever he wants to be, not what you choose. That's why he is helping Wave, not because you told him to, it's because he wants to. Tsunami screamed out. That's what I want to talk to you about. Naruto has been thinking about what you said, about giving people hope, about being a good boy, but truly, Naruto isn't a good boy. Said Kurama. What do you mean? Naruto wants to destroy his village. He wants to destroy Konoha, and he wanted to do that before he even meet me. Said Kurama to a surprised Tsunami. Because of the villagers beating him, I know. That isn't his fault either. Naruto has never in his life done anything he wants to do, only listen or suffer from others. Said Tsunami. He doesn't need to. Yelled Kurama. All he needs is me, that's what I've been trying to show him, but he keeps denying it. All he needs to do is listen, which he doesn't do at all. She yelled. She then looked Tsunami in the eye, but he listened to you the first time you said something, and that is something I don't understand. She said. It's because unlike you, he can believe me and trust, faster than she could even see. Kurama wrapped a hand around Tsunami's neck. You say he can't trust me, he can't trust the person who was there for him, even if I did hurt him, it was for him to realize that the pain could stop if he would just listen. That's all that I ask. To listen to me and me only, no one else. I would never lie to Naruto-kun, I would always be there for him, even if he doesn't want me there because I love him, I am obsessed with him. Because just like me, he was the only person I could understand, to be discriminated for a reason not your fault, because of what you are, do you know how that feels? Asked Kurama. She then let Tsunami go. She gained her breath first and then looked Kurama in the eye, eyes that were full of tears. The first time I talked to Naruto, we could relate on so many things, I actually felt normal for once. If I didn't like something, he didn't like it either for the same reasons. With Naruto, I never felt alone, and it's funny, cause I'm too old to remember the number of my age, but a 6-year-old boy understood me fully better than anyone else. He is the person who taught me the words, friendship, and then, love. I don't want to lose him to anybody, in fear of those feelings going away. She then picked up a picture of Tsunami, Inari, and Tazuna, and some other man she couldn't recognize and didn't care about either, and showed it to Tsunami. You have a family that you love and cherish, something people wish they had. I am one of them, but take me seriously when I say this. Stop filling Naruto's head with this silly idea of living his own life. He only needs me and I need him. She then walked right in front of Tsunami with a serious face, tears long gone, and if you try to take what makes me happy, she leaned in and whispered in her ear, I'll take away what makes you happy. So this is your final warning, stay away from Naruto. She said as she leaned away and left Tsunami's room. 3 days later. Things had changed in the household of the civilian family and Team 7. Sasuke and Sakura didn't stay around Kakashi when they needed to, which made him sad and feel even more guilt. He deserved this. His team doesn't trust him now. He really felt like shit. The other thing is that Tsunami started avoiding Naruto. The next morning after Kurama and Tsunami's conversation, Naruto tried to tell Tsunami that he was going to start repairing the buildings of Wave, only for her to say that's good, and move away from Naruto, making him kind of sad. Naruto started building with a man named Shinichi, the local carpenter, and both started making houses. Naruto would get the wood from the forest that he would cut down with his favorite jutsu that he made himself, Fuden, tamed winds. This jutsu let him control the winds at will, with no motions at all, and make invisible wind blades to tear through his enemies. With this and his shadow clones, Naruto and Shinichi were building many houses and repairing broken down ones in a flash. But even through all that, Tsunami didn't praise his efforts. Naruto asked Kurama what she did when he fell out, and all she said was that she was making improvements to his body to handle more of the yokai that he was making, which he bought, not noticing the lie she was telling him. The second day Naruto was really wanting to get some good sleep, but the Uchiha wanted to talk to him about his past, but fell asleep while he was talking. The next morning, Kakashi left with Sasuke and Sakura to protect Tazuna for the last time, as today was the day that the bridge was finished. Naruto was still asleep when the team left, so he didn't get there on time. Something did wake him up, though. Tazuna's house. Snore. Come with us, lady, or we'll hurt the kid. Ka-san. Don't worry, Inari. Just go back inside. Ka-chan will handle this. ZZZZZZZZZZZZ. Snore, oranges SSS, ZZZZZZZZZ. Let's go. No. Z's. Huh. What's that noise? Outside the house. Get out of here, kid. Said a thug that was dragging Tsunami away. No, I won't let you take my Ka-chan away. I won't run away anymore. Shouted Inari. Then die. Charged the other thug with his sword drawn. When he was about to kill Inari, his head fell from his neck. The same happened to the other thug. In the middle of the scene was Naruto, his black hoodie and cargo shorts sprayed with their blood. He looked at Tsunami that was still scared. She saw Naruto and started to back away from him. Seeing him with the blood all over him with that dead look made him look scary to her. Naruto, though, took this the wrong way, so she fears me, just like everyone else. That must be the reason why she stopped talking to me, because she realized what I am. I thought she would be different, thought Naruto as he looked at Tsunami. He pushed those thoughts away and looked at Tsunami and asked, "Where is the Hatake?" "He and my father went to the bridge this morning," she said. Before she said anything else, Naruto vanished in a red flash. On the bridge. Damn, this guy is good, thought Sasuke as he faced Haku in her dome of ice mirrors with some Senbon sticking out of his body, also not knowing that Haku is a girl. You fight well, your Sharingan has helped you greatly in battle, said Haku in one of her many mirrors. Haku then jumped out the mirror to the right of Sasuke to hit him, only for him to block it with a kunai. She grabbed another Senbon and tried to stab it into his midsection, only for Sasuke to grab Haku's wrist and lifted it up, and tried to stab her underarm, only to feel a Senbon in his back. What? He said as the Haku he stabbed turned into ice. You faced my clone that time, which I set up to lower the guard on your back, which worked wonders. Now please forgive me for this, but you must die. 1,000 flying water needles of death. She yelled as she sent loads of Senbon at Sasuke's body. Then, all the Senbons got blown away by a strong gust. A small tornado appeared in the middle of the dome, and when it died down, it was Naruto in the middle. Huh, nice entrance, said Sasuke. I will handle the situation, said Naruto. Naruto then had chains come from his back, surprising both Haku and Sasuke. He then made them wrap around to make little drills. Chakra chains. Drill form, he announced, and they launched themselves into Haku's mirrors. One by one the mirrors were destroyed, until there was only one left. Haku then walked out the mirror and took her mask off, revealing a very surprised look. How strong are you? She asked. Not strong enough. This battle is over, said Naruto as he walked into the mist to go see Zabuza and Kakashi's battle. On the other side of the bridge. It's time for you to die, Zabuza, said Kakashi to Zabuza that was held down with dogs that Kakashi summoned. Kakashi charged up his lightning blade, and shocking Zabuza in the process. What kind of jutsu? I can see the chakra he is putting into it, thought an amazed Zabuza. It's time, lightning blade, yelled Kakashi as he charged towards Zabuza. He was about to stab Zabuza, when a hand caught his wrist, stopping him in the process. Naruto, what are you doing? Asked Kakashi. But Naruto wasn't worried about that, he was more worried about the jutsu that Kakashi still had active. This is the same jutsu. The same one, just like it was that day, said Naruto. He then looked up at Kakashi. Kakashi, now realizing what Naruto was seeing, cancelled the jutsu and pulled his hand back. Naruto, I can explain, said a very worried Kakashi. Naruto was looking at Kakashi with wide eyes, not believing what he just found out. I knew I've seen his face before, I just didn't know where I saw it. But now that I know, it makes me hate him and Konoha more than ever, he thought. Naruto quickly knocked Kakashi out by chopping him on his neck, now remembering the situation he was in, but he was angry, and he needed something to take it out on. Thanks a lot there, Gaki, for a second I thought I was actually going to die, said Zabuza as he freed himself from the dogs Kakashi summoned earlier. He then released his mist jutsu to reveal Haku and Sasuke walking over, Sakura still protecting Tazuna, and the mob of thugs on the other side of the bridge with Gato himself, clapping. Wow, I can't believe that you're still alive, Zabuza, those leaf ninjas failed to kill you. But that's all right, my thugs will kill you now and take over wave, preeminently, laughed Gato and his Y thugs. Naruto, remember when I said that you could kill later? Asked Kurama from his mind. Yes, said a very angry Naruto. Have fun, was all she said. I shall, yelled a now crazy Naruto as he charged towards the mob, claws now equipped on his hands. Kill him first, show them who's boss around here, yelled Gato to his thugs as they also charged towards Naruto. Kill them all, yelled a finally crazy Naruto. Tazuna, Zabuza, Haku, Sasuke, and Sakura could only watch as Naruto tore through the crowd of thugs with his claws. One after one the thugs would lose body parts and they would be thrown all over the bridge, with Naruto in the middle of it all, having the time of his life. Naruto ran towards a group of thugs that were trying to get away from the demon boy, and without hand seals, Naruto casted a jutsu. Fuden. Uphill current, he yelled as the group of thugs were then launched into the air. Fuden. Downhill current, he yelled again and the thugs were then caught into two powerful crushing wind currents that were killing them with the pressure. Naruto then brought both of his palms together, die, and the thugs' bodies exploded from the pressure of the two currents, blowing the body parts everywhere on the bridge. Fuden uphill current, he yelled and all of the other thugs, including Gato, rose from the ground and into the air. Fuden. Tornado killer, he said and watched with a mad smile as a tornado was formed and inhaled all of the thugs and the wind blades cut through all of them. When the jutsu was cancelled, it was raining blood in the area that Naruto was in, and he was taking it in with a true smile on his face. This feels so good, even better than what it was 6 years ago, thought Naruto. He then thought about what Tsunami and the old lady in the village told him. You're a good boy, Naruto. Their voices rang through his head, but he kept smiling. No, I'm not. I'm a bad boy, I am, though, a good demon, he thought as he threw what Tsunami said about him away. She didn't seem to care about him these last few days, so why should he? Kurama was hearing these thoughts with a smile on her face. Good, I've successfully gotten rid of Tsunami, she said to herself. Naruto then ran off the bridge to Gato's hideout. There was still more people to kill. He did it. He killed Gato, screamed Tazuna in glee, already forgetting what Naruto just did. I have to go tell everyone, he said as he ran back into town. Sasuke, Sakura, Haku, and Zabuza was still staying in the same place they were at the beginning of the massacre. That boy is too strong, but I'm glad to have him as an ally, thought Gato. Deep in Forest Gato's hideout, Naruto ran into the hideout, killing everyone he saw, and was having so much fun. So much red covered the walls and it looked good to him. He continued this until he ran into the only ninja in the hideout. You, stop there. I shall destroy you and bury you alive with the help of Renmara, yelled Raiga Kurosuke, the owner of the twin thunder swords, Kiba. Die, lightning ball, he said as he sent a ball of lightning from his swords. Move out of my way. Tamed winds, said Naruto as he sent an invisible blade of wind through the jutsu and sliced the man and the innocent boy on his back in half. Naruto then stopped his tyranny for a couple seconds as he looked at the twin Kiba swords, and sealed it into a seal on his arm and continued to kill everyone there. 20 minutes later, a now calmer Naruto stood in front of Gato's open vault of money, as he killed everyone in the hideout. He then looked at all the gold in the vault, his fox instincts now taking over. Shiny gold, he said in wonder as he sealed everything in the vault in a master scroll. He then walked to the bottom of the hideout to see the holding cells revealing people behind them. Please help us, one woman said, not seeing the blood all over Naruto's cloths. I shall stay back from the lock, he said as all the prisoners walked away from the door. Suddenly, all the locks broke down, thanks to his wind jutsu. Everyone ran out and thanked him for freeing him, but he paid no mind to it. Follow me to Wave. You shall live new lives because of me. I made Wave a better place and killed Gato off, he said, and the people yelled with happiness because of his feat. Naruto did forget to tell them to cover the children's eyes as they walked through the carnage. Oh well, he didn't care. 2 days later, the bridge was complete, and also cleaned of the blood and body parts that littered it. Tazuna told everyone what Naruto did for them, and everyone loved Naruto. Naruto wouldn't be able to walk through town with being stampeded by people who were saying their thanks, or some of the females that ran after him. Naruto never talked to Kakashi when he woke up. It turns out Naruto never knew that it was Kakashi who attacked him in that alleyway that day. Every time Kakashi tried to talk to Naruto, Naruto would only blast him with a ki so strong, it would make a cage shit his pants, and Kakashi was no cage-level ninja. The only people Naruto would spend time with was Sasuke and Sakura. They would eat together and talk together, only Naruto wouldn't reply to the two a lot. Things with Naruto and Tsunami only got worse. Naruto walked up to Tsunami after he freed the prisoners of Gato's hideout, and told her that she was afraid of him now that he knew what he was. He said he saw the look of fear in her eyes as he came back to the house, his cloths and hair filled with the blood of his victims. Inari, on the other hand, thanked Naruto. He said that he was a fool to cry and not do anything for his people, and said he would be strong like Naruto and protect his grandfather and mother now, which Naruto almost smiled at. Naruto also gave Sasuke the twin lightning blades, Kiba. He said that it was, surprisingly when dealing with Naruto, a reward for dealing with Haku as he did. He actually congratulated Sasuke, which made Sasuke smile, knowing that he has gotten stronger if Naruto was telling him that. Speaking of Zabuza and Haku, the two stayed in a house in Wave, but didn't let anyone other than Tazuna know this. He told Tazuna his plan to protect Wave, in which Tazuna agreed to. Now Wave was getting ready to properly thank its hero. Middle of town with Tazuna on top of a stage. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you all hear me? Alrighty, then we're ready to proceed. We are here to thank the person, I mean people, who came to help Wave in its time of need. Without them, we would still be rolling around in our own filth. So introducing our heroes. First, these people. Then a curtain on the left side of Tazuna peeled down to reveal Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura. Villagers' response. Clap, clap, clap. Who are those people? I don't know. Why is the tall one's hair defying gravity? Comma dot, comma dot, comma dot, comma, clap. Where the S Naruto? One person yelled. Back to Tazuna. Ah, yes, thank you for that show of thanks. Now, for Wave's real hero, Naruto. Then the curtain of the right side of Tazuna fell down to reveal Naruto and a man behind him. The man then raised Naruto underneath his armpits, showing him to the crowd. The villagers' response. Naruto. Let's go Naruto. I love you Naruto. I want your baby Naruto. Whoever said that shall die. Yelled Kurama from Naruto's mind. You're the best Naruto. 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 Naruto plug. Alright Naruto, that's the character that everyone loves. Apparently, the villagers love Naruto a lot. Back to Tazuna. Yes, thank you, Naruto. It's because of you and no one else that Wave is a better place. Said Tazuna, basically forgetting about Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura, making them all sweat drop. Now please enjoy the festival in honor of our hero, Naruto. Yelled Tazuna as everyone yelled in approval. Naruto was looking as this happened, seeing everyone cheer for him, but they knew what he did. He killed so many people, but they didn't care. So why would Tsunami get scared of him after he only killed 2 people in front of her? He didn't understand why. While people were thanking him, saying that he was their hero and that they loved him. Naruto never smiled once, not hearing it from the person he really wanted to hear it from. Tsunami. Next day, on the bridge. Today was the day Team 7 returned to Konoha, and none of the villagers wanted to see Naruto leave, but it had to be done. They were standing on the bridge, while some of the villagers were saying their goodbyes. When they were done, Inari came up to Naruto. Naruto. Thank for everything. I'll keep my promise and to stop crying, honest. He said to Naruto. I'll hold you to it. Said Naruto with his regular dead voice. Then, Inari hugged Naruto's midsection, him being shorter than him. I love you, Oni-san. Said Inari as he let go and ran away, not wanting Naruto to see his tears. Oni-san, he called me. Brother, thought a wide-eyed Naruto. After Inari left, Tsunami walked up to Naruto, causing him to glare at her, red eyes flashing. She ignored them though and kneeled down to Naruto's height and looked him dead in the eyes. She then leaned in and kissed him on the cheek, leaving Naruto and his team wide-eyed. Thank you, and please understand why I didn't talk to you after you read this. She said as she stuck a piece of paper inside Naruto's hoodie pocket and ran off. Alright team, it's time to go. Say your goodbyes, said Kakashi, and with Waves, they left Wave. You know, said a Shinichi, the man who Naruto helped build homes in Wave, to Tazuna, we still have to give the bridge a name. Let's name it, the Great Naruto Bridge, to honor the person who freed us. Said Tazuna. Great Naruto Bridge, said Shinichi, as he looked at Naruto's back as he was walking away, I like it. He said. Night time. The team made camp to take a good night's rest. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke stayed in tents, while Naruto dug a hole in the ground saying, foxes sleep in dens, not tents. He then pulled out the letter Tsunami gave to him earlier. It read, Naruto, please forgive me, I haven't been talking to you. But it isn't for reasons you believe. 5 days ago, you were asleep and the Kyuubi took over your body. She told me to stay away from you or she would kill the only family I had left. I had to listen, and it hurt me because I saw the hurt look in your eyes when I wouldn't talk to you. Please forgive me. Also, I want you to hear one of the things I talked to the Kyuubi about. We got into an argument about you, and I said the reason you listened to me was because you could trust me, but that's when the Kyuubi snapped. She said that she wouldn't let anything happen to you because you saved her. You saved her from her own loneliness. You were the only person in the world that she could talk to, relate to. She felt normal around you. She loves you because she feel in love with you, Naruto. You made her fall in love. She would tell you that she saved you from the villagers' attacks, but you did more for her than you realizes. If you two can work out your differences, you two could become true lovers. Please give her a chance. Lastly, you told me that your mother hates you. Well, let me be your mother. The next time you see me, call me Ka-chan, not Tsunami. Thank you for reading. I love you, Naruto-kun. Your Ka-chan, Tsunami, comma dot, comma dot, comma dot dot, comma dot dot, comma dot. Naruto couldn't talk as the tears going down his eyes would get into his mouth if he would open it. Naruto then entered his mindscape. Mindscape. Naruto was standing across from Kurama. She was looking at him with eyes that only held love. Everything she said in that letter was true. I told her to stay away. She couldn't finish her sentences. Naruto jumped up and hugged Kurama with everything he had, crying in between her. Kurama was surprised at first, but then held on to Naruto with a loving embrace, no pain at all. I love you, Naruto. She said. Maybe I should start to treat him right, like Tsunami said. Thought Kurama. I don't know if I love you or not, said Naruto. Kurama just looked down at Naruto while he was crying.